sports listeners. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
This whole hour of Santa Barbara teen athletes. Woo! And we're talking all athletes. A beautiful day, May, all day. I tell you, it is so crazy. We have such a full boat today, but you know, I did talk to our teen queen from SB, Romy Davies, and she says to me, Erica, she's holding up like, I gotta study. So what we're gonna do before I introduce anybody else, without any further ado, let's get a recap from SB. Romy's in the house. What say you, Romy?
So today I'm just going to be talking about our lacrosse season because it's finally at an end. We wrapped it up last week with our final game against SM. In total, we played 16 games this season, and we ended with a 6-10 win to loss rate. So that put us in 5th place for our league, which meant that we unfortunately didn't make it to playoffs. But we still had a great time this season and had lots of ups and successes, especially because we had so many new players this year. We had a lot of freshmen and sophomores. I especially wanted to mention one freshman, Emma Hall, who ended up being one of our starting midfielders for every game. She would take the draw. And our sophomore, Olivia Hernandez, who was our incredible goalie, and she only just started playing this year. I think I mentioned her before, so she was amazing too. We had an amazing assistant coach this season. Her name was Coach Pat. She played in college and was just an amazing coach. And obviously our head coach, Elaine Blessing, who loves lacrosse. But yeah, I was thinking about our best games this season, and they're probably against Nordhoff and Lorena, 2 teams, 1 team from Ojai, and 1 team from Thousand Oaks. Nordhoff, we beat 16-3 one time,
wow,
and 16-6 the next time. So improved our score. And then Lorena, we beat them 19-6, which was our best win out of the whole season. But yeah, so those were definitely our best games, and it was just a great season all around. We didn't make it to playoffs, but next year we'll have even more new players joining the team, and hopefully we can make it next year.
Nice. Did you just have a varsity and a JV, or just a varsity?
No, just a varsity, because we're not big enough. Maybe next year we might be big enough if more people join to split.
Nice. And you'll be a senior next year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Now you have a twin sister.
Yeah.
So she doesn't play lacrosse.
No, she plays volleyball.
Oh, okay. So have you played together on the same teams before for anything?
Yeah, we used to do way back when we did gymnastics, and then in middle school we both went to Laguna and we played. They have like seasonal sports, so we played all the sports. We played volleyball, soccer, basketball.
So she's your identical twin?
No.
I was going to say, how do I know you're Romy?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Trying to trick the Queen of Teen right now. It's done before. Okay, it has been done before. I don't know. We get the twinsies.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. Do you have any questions?
Yeah. So what are you looking forward to sports-wise during the rest of the summer that will keep you fit for lacrosse next year?
Yeah, I'm probably going to play on Mission, which is like one of the local club teams that's run by the varsity SM girls coach. And I did Mission in middle school and freshman year. So I'm like familiar with all the players. So I think I'll do that to stay fresh over the summer. And I think some of the older girls might get to like help out and like teach the younger girls starting to play lacrosse, which would be so fun because all the little girls are so cute.
Yeah, well, you don't get a break here, okay? On Teen Sports Radio, like it's a continuum. Just because school's out, we shoot right through the summer because I need sports recaps and I need to have a pulse of the community, and that's your job, okay?
Yeah, okay.
So that's it. So I don't want you to think you're going to get a break. There is no break on Teen Sports Radio, okay? So fantastic.
So to check in with the student part of you, you said you're studying for some AP tests. Which tests are you studying for?
I'm studying so I took environmental science on Tuesday, and then I have US history this Friday, and then Lang next Tuesday.
Very good.
Wow. So you got this.
Yeah.
Listen, I know you got to get back to the books. We so appreciate you've got fans here, and Dominique and I and the whole Teen Sports Radio crew. So, keep it up. We're really proud of you. You got this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to, we've got more in the house. All right. But we're going to let Romy head on out. Romy, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. God bless. Okay, next up, we're going to be waiting for Heather Bond. She's going to be joining us. She's in between training. She's got a couple of clients, so she should pop in here any minute. In the house today, we have Dawn Sanders, our producer, Richard Dugan, our Dr. D, a.k.a. Christine Marie with the view from a deck. And of course, I always forget Dominique Hackett, no matter what. Okay. In addition to Dr. Amy Salzman, she's also here today. And I'm sure we'll have Richard Ellsworth and Alex Ramirez later on this morning. So it is a beautiful morning. We've had a lot going on here at the house. We've had some fix-its. I want to give a couple of shouts out to Jimmy Thayton, the masonry. He fixed all the rock work that we had that was kind of breaking after 20 plus years. He fixed all that. Jimmy, we love you. Then we had Wayne in this morning, and I don't know why, but Dominique is predicting a big, massive rain, okay, for the winter, because we've always had these little cold pockets coming in and out. So we had the French drains all cleaned out. We are ready. We are ready for, what it is? It's nice when it's nice to have a plan and put it into action, because then if something happens, you're ready and you're prepared. And that's always the good thing. Heather Bond is in the house now. Heather Bond.
Well, awesome. Well, yes, in between clients, but always, always wonderful to be here. Indeed. Yes, a busy week. Good stuff happening all the way around. Actually, I want to do a little shout out first. Our friend Javier down at Community Bank West Bank. Great guy. I love working with a community like that. It's nice. He and I are both former Royals from San Marcos, so we ran track together. And so I wanted to give a shout out. I had a great little meeting with him this week. And yes, so we've got trekking ambassadors up and going, and super, super excited. Gosh, where do I even start, you guys?
How about we all met on the back patio. This is where magic happens, okay, at the Casa here. And what did you want to do is, share some ideas on a program, a vision that you had. And very well aware, because we worked in the past before with your other program, your other, brainchild, 5 Elements. And what you do is, Dominique, you could do with the nonprofit.
Well, we're incubating various programs that help the community, help our kids, and you're doing something that's a global impact. So Trekking Ambassadors is born from your vision of wanting to trek into the wilderness and bring light and all sorts of wonderful things to remote places.
And using Santa Barbara businesses, okay, as the launching pad. And it's great because you're also affiliated with your school with Waldorf. So you get to have that and share that experience and teaching our young kids to be ambassadors, and not just even on a local level, but on a global level. And that's the one thing that you are. You're larger than life, Heather. I'm a big fan of yours.
Tell us about this first trek.
Yes. So I'm really excited. So, this is just, gosh, we're, 2 months out. Our first mission. So our missions this year for 2022 for the Trekking Ambassadors are called Treks for Light and Sight. You can go to treksforlightandsight.com or Trekking Ambassadors to learn out all about our missions. But the first one in July, as a little side note, I will be climbing the rooftop of Africa beforehand up Mount Kilimanjaro. But we are working with 2 secondary schools in a very small village called Marangu Village, and it is at the base of Mount Kilimanjaro. One of them is a all-girls school, and they are about 14, 15 years old that I'm working with, and we are creating solar light libraries for 2 different secondary schools over there. One is a mixed co-ed school, and the other is just the all-girls school. But these solar light libraries, a lot of these villages, very, very remote, and the kids there, most of them, a high percentage do not have access to sustainable electricity. The school's hit and miss. And so these light libraries are going to enable these students to really be able to study for their exams. I mean, things are changing out in this world. Kids are getting exposed to certain things, and they want to expand their education. And a lot of the kids in these remote villages, they don't, many of them don't last in school too long because of just, the lack of electricity, the lack of means. And so we're bringing a little sustainable energy to them with the solar panels, solar reading task lights that they can study for their exams. So much like a library where you check out a book, they'll be able to check out these solar lights from Unite to Light, which is a Santa Barbara-based nonprofit here in town. And I'm working with them utilizing their goods. So that's really exciting.
Sweet. Christine Marie, she's also had some experience trekking off to Africa. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. Well, I'm just reminded of some of the children. I was in Zululand in South Africa, and some of the children would walk 2 hours to get to school every day, right? And they do their homework by fire at night, or the different things to do. So it's really a wonderful blessing that you're doing that to help them, do the things they want to do to shift their world. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know what? Thank you so much for saying that, because my first experience in Swaziland and down through Lesotho and a lot of other places in South Africa, I had a big race down there in 97. And that's exactly what I encountered. And it was, you would see the group of young girls. And that's actually why there's a lot of boarding schools now for these young women, because, they take these long treks and sometimes they didn't make it to school, et cetera. And they become a mom, before, et cetera. We won't go into that. But so this is really exciting to me. It hits home, and I'm excited to bring that.
So if somebody listened to this, because we're going to take a break now, Heather, but if somebody listened to this and they want more information from you, how do we get a hold of you?
Absolutely. For the best way is hop on our website, www.trekkingambassadors.com or treksforlightinsight.com. Either one will take you to our information, our website, donation page, getting everything you need to know about our upcoming missions, because we've got a couple.
So trekking is double K or CK?
Double K. Yes.
Just want to make sure. K square. 2 Ks. 2 Ks are always better than one when you're doing the trekking. All right, let's take a little break. If you could stick around a little longer, great. Heather, if anybody has more questions, if you got a dash, because I understand your schedule, God bless. And we're here to support you. Let's take a little break. This is Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. We've got Christine Marie after these messages. We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m. I am.
Welcome back to Teen Sports Radio. This is Christine Marie with A View from the Deck, and also with the book, The 15 Commitments to Conscious Leadership. And you can reach me at 805-350-2705 for tarot readings, or you can also read all about me at the Paradise Found website, paradisefoundsb.com, and see what I do. It's great. Beyond being here. Now, we are at the 15th commitment, which is so wonderful because Heather Bond just sort of exemplifies this commitment, which is called being the resolution. I commit to being the resolution or solution that is needed, seeing what is missing in the world as an invitation, and become that which is required. And it's so beautiful because Heather saw that there was a need for these children to have electricity. And she also saw how in our community there's resources, and she was the link. She became the link. And it's so powerful. It talks about, there's all sorts of things happening in the world, good things, bad things. And once we get to a level of maybe success or a capacity in our own life, we feel like we've got things handled, then we start looking out and we can see all these things that perhaps should be handled better. We might label them as wrong or bad or what they should be doing. But as soon as we see what this chapter reminds me of the quote from Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. And so whenever we sense that something's missing, the world invites us to be the resolution and become that which brings forth even more beauty, productivity, alignment, health, and contribution. And so this is really just talks about whenever we see something that's missing in the world, we might complain for a minute, but then we tap in and we say, okay, how do I want to see the world? And what would my contribution be right now to do that, to make the world a better place? So this is our 15th commitment, and it's the completion of the book. I highly recommend it. The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, A New Paradigm for Sustainable Success by Jim Detmer, Diana Chapman, and Kaylee Warner-Klemp. Thank you for joining me on this journey, everyone.
Nice. Good book. Good book. Yeah. Woo! 15 weeks of book. And you know how much I like to read. So I like the whole Audible version. It's much easier for me to absorb the information. Huh, Dee?
Yeah. I mean, some people are visual learners and some people are audio learners. What I really appreciate about the book that you shared, Christine, is that I felt like the journey was a journey from within out. And so it's so appropriate that the last commitment is really a commitment to how we are being in the world.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I in my own journey, my healing journey, I remember being sitting on a chiropractic table at one point, and the chiropractor saying to me when he, adjusted something, it was pretty powerful. Whatever you think has been withheld from you is yours to give. And I just had a mind blowing opening alignment of wow, what if that were the case? And what do I think has been withheld from me? And how do I give that to the world? And that's been the question for quite a long time. That's how I sort of orient.
Isn't it ironic most of the time that everybody I think on the planet has that feeling, but then at the same time, the contrary, the negativity to that is that you build your own roadblocks, or speed bumps. So you want to do it, but there's always that little joust of fear that you have instead of just putting it out there. I don't know. That's the whole mindfulness and the training and the healing. And we have Dr. Amy Salzman in the house. So blessed. So what a gift she has been to the show, and putting it in words like no other, and has written about it, which is awesome. Dr. Amy.
So thanks for that lead in, Christine. Always perfect. And so it brings to mind to me also the quote, when you healers are the ones who've been through the fires of hell and come out carrying buckets of water. And for me, that's definitely the genesis of my Spot a Spider work. So having gone through my own covert emotional abuse, I'm wanting to protect others from covert emotional abuse and then overt emotional, physical, and sexual abuse. And so I just invite everyone to follow Christine Marie's suggestion or the suggestion from the book for choosing some way that you want to be a solution. And often it's providing something that's missing. So, for example, there's lots of information to educate adults on protecting children from abuse, but so far there's not much, and definitely not much of excellence for teaching children how to protect themselves. So that's a place that I felt was missing, that matched my skill set of being able to translate difficult topics, whether it's mindfulness or protecting yourself and others from abuse, into kid speak, into simple language that really anyone can understand and that will support anyone in protecting themselves and others.
I agree with you 100%. As a child that was also abused by the babysitter at a very young age, the good thing is that I went the next morning and I told my mother. That started an explosion beyond belief in the neighborhood we lived in. All I remember is anytime something really bad happened to me, I got a trip to Germany. So it wasn't that bad. Okay. I was spoiled rotten. I agree with you 100%. It's very difficult for people to really grasp. Children, honestly, they just don't lie. So when take a percentage of, some of them might have some craziness or whatever, but I would find all the stories that I've heard coaching 28 years. Believe me, I bumped into this more than once. And the best thing to do is if you're informed of something, you don't put it underneath the rug, you push it up the stream, because it's not my place, but it is my place as a coach or an adult or a teacher or whatever. If you hear something, you just can't discard it. I think that's the first thing, because
right. So there's two beautiful pieces to what you're saying. First, you, because of who you are, found the words to tell somebody what happened. The second beautiful piece is that your mom heard you and believed you and took action. And I want to empower kids to have the words and help adults understand, as you said, that kids don't lie. I don't even think adults, I think it's a very, very small percentage that anyone comes forward with a claim of abuse that's untrue, just because it's so excruciating. The abuse itself was excruciating, but to go through it again, to have to explain, to have to relive, to have to be subject to the scrutiny, like, if you can avoid that, you'll avoid it.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that, Dr. Amy. And I remember certain times in my life where if there was an issue or something going on that I saw, and I would say, why do I have to be the one who says it? Why do I have to be? And people would say to me, because you're the one who's noticing. You're the one, and then I would say, oh, okay, and I would keep speaking out, so yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Don Sanders. It takes a village, right?
Of support. You want to have that village of support, because what happens, especially if somebody that's a likable person is getting accused, oh boy. You could see how the sea parts. Then, that person, she, whatever, is going to gather up their people. And then all of a sudden it's a divide, right? And they do that because they want to challenge everything. And it could create a big mess. But the nice thing is once it's reported and recorded, I really do believe, and my faith has always been that the answers will be revealed. The truth, definitely, you're not going to be able to suppress something like that because it's such an ugly, it's not right. It might take 30 years. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Dr. Amy? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Don Sanders, we got to take a little break, but I want to hear from you.
We all come into the world with a light that has the potential to light a cave that's been dark for 1,000 years. And if we hold on to that and don't let anybody steal it from us, it's a very hard thing. If we have allies or if we have the support we need to do that, And if it does happen that we get tripped up, then a lot of people think, why is this happening to me? And the positive spin on that, kind of like Christine's been turning things around from a negative to a positive, is what does that have to teach me? Because it has the potential to show you how you can reclaim your light and use it to create value for others.
Yeah. Beautiful. So Dr. Amy has written a book about this. I want to get more of those little ideas from her right after these messages. And this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hello, this is Dr. Amy Saltzman from www.stillquietplace.com and www.spotaspider.com. And Erica said I wrote a book on this, and actually the truth is for this, I'm just finishing up producing some videos and getting up the Spot a Spider website. And as far as my book, which I do think relates in terms of the thing that Dominique was talking about turning inward so that we can move outward. When we're still and quiet, when we pay attention to our breath, our body, our thoughts, and our feelings, and then the circumstances and the people around us, then we have all the information we need to act. And so there is this balance of going inward and tuning into yourself and your experience, so that you can know your truth and act with wisdom and compassion.
Nice.
So beautiful. I, through my journeys, have had an opportunity to work with young girls who had eating disorders. And the powerful thing about working with someone who's working with eating disorder issues is that there's usually a family component to what has happened that has made that individual then to choose either not eating or bulimia, throwing up a meal, in order to have some sort of control over life. And it's just so interesting to me that when we look at the difficulties in life, and we call them abuses because it feels really yucky to the soul, whether it's something that we're doing to ourselves or something that someone has done to us, we want to move into a place where we're experiencing the yumminess of the soul and how to move from the yuckies in life over to the yummies in life. That journey is a journey that all of us are taking all the time. We're constantly interacting with things in life, whether it's happening to us or happening in the world around us, that we want to see change happen. And so people like Heather Bond doing the trekking ambassadors, and the work that you're doing, Christine, with your transformational tarot, and Dawn Sanders with your massage work, and Dr. Amy with Spot a Spider and helping children language what's going on. All of us are trying to reach into the world and share the light that we have been blessed to receive, share it so that more and more people are enjoying the light rather than the yuckiness.
And that's why I thank Teen Sports Radio in this community and be a part of this 12 years now with Dr. D and the support of News Press Radio, Les Carroll, station manager. What a blessing. What a gift, huh? Yeah. I mean, to be able to support the communities, the nonprofits, and all the businesses in a direct relationship to connect and to serve the community for the future of the city, which is, and now we can reach people all over the world because of Zoom. Amy, Dr. Amy.
Well, thank you, Dominique, because your comment about working with people with the eating disorders reminded me that I'm doing an event called Positive Body Image, Increase Your Confidence and Embrace Who You Are on May 14th at Work Zone. And you can find it on Eventbrite. and Erica, I'll send you the link so that you can put it up on the web page and the Facebook page.
Excellent. Wonderful. That's awesome.
Excellent. I just want to encourage, if any teen knows of another teen that they're worried about, concerned about, get more information on it, because there is so much that we can do to help support each other with whatever is going on in life. And Christine Marie, I know that you have county contact numbers that teens can access as well. Maybe you have a chance to bring that up and share that number. But it's like we want to encourage teens is you're not alone. That's part of the project at Teen Sports Radio, is that we're trying to broadcast out there to all of our teens and the adults that are helping teens to let you know that there are resources and you are not alone.
Definitely. Christine, do you have any of the contact info? You want to wait till after break?
Let me wait till after break. And
Great.
I know it's safety, but I get the number.
I got you. Let's take a break. We've got Dominique Hackett's Hygge right after these messages.
Well, now together we will stand, every boy, girl, woman, and a man. Together we'll stand, divided we'll fall. Come on now, people, let's get on the ball and work together. Come on, let's work together. Now, people, because together we will stand, every boy, every girl, and a man.
We are back, and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
Every single Tuesday.
9 a.m.
Welcome back to Teen Sports Radio. I'm Dominique Hackett with Santa Barbara Wellness Center and also Philosophical Books for the Blind. I help teach visually impaired people to read Braille. So Hackett's Hygges, what I tried to do is remind us all of those comfy, cozy things that are in our life that help make life wonderful. And I want to share a practice. I talked about previous weeks, a morning ritual. I want to share a practice that I have restarted in my life, and I really, really enjoy it. If you've never heard of it, it is called bullet journaling. So bullet journaling, there's a lot of YouTube videos on it. There's a website on it. There's, all sorts of things about it, but it doesn't cost you anything. You can grab any old notebook you want and a pen or a pencil, and you can start. And what I want to express as a hygge moment, it's very wonderful to note the fantastic things that are happening in your life. And if you are engaged in doing a bullet journal, you can use your journal to make gratitude notes. So you can start your day off making the gratitude notes of what you're happy for. And that starts you off on a very good vibration. Then you can make notes of the things that you're trying to accomplish today, or maybe there's something that a friend asked you for and you kind of forgot about it, but you don't want to forget about it. Maybe they have a birthday coming up or something. You can make this note in your bullet journal, and this journal can be any way that you would like it to be. It's not constrained by anybody. You can be creative and put doodles in. You can.
Don't forget to buy the oat milk. Put that in the journal. Do you know what I'm saying? We've been out of oat milk now for 2 days. Okay. That's what we needed to do. Put it on the bullet journal. Okay, good.
So you can do lots of creative things. If you do go onto Instagram or Pinterest, you'll see various people's forms of their bullet journals. But I just want to tell teens, if you've never heard of it before, take a look at it. Because not only does it help you ground and center into the present moment, because you're making notes about what's going on in the present moment, but it can also help you lessen your stress, because you have this great place to catch those ideas and maybe those activities that you want to do in the future. And so you can note them down in your bullet journal and then relax, because you know that it's there for when you want to go back and review it. And I restarted my bullet journal practice, And I've been doodling with pens, putting flowers because it's May. And I just noticed that it's making my day really happy. So that's my Huggish share for today is experiment with having a bullet journal.
Nice. Alex Ramirez is in the house. 805, Fit for Life 805. Sorry, I always get the two numbers before words, you know what I'm saying. But you seem to be the kind of guy that has everything in structure and order. Do you use a bullet journal?
Good morning, everyone. That's one thing I don't do. I don't journal at all. I deal with my stress through training and talking to people. I guess, I do write down thoughts. To do what I do is a priority list. I do definitely have like a checklist, priority list that helps me get my thoughts down. So in a way, I guess I am kind of journaling.
Yeah, you do that. That's what it is.
That's your bullet journal.
Yeah. That's a bullet. Yeah.
It's not like I don't ever jot down my feelings or emotions. I work that out through training.
Nice. Well, do you ever use different color pens when you're writing down your priorities?
No, I just use the same blue colored Dodger blue colored pen.
Listen, she's trying to have you get in contact with your female side, okay, with the colors and their feelings and the emotions. It's okay. Right. Don Sanders probably uses colors pens. No, Don? Colored pens?
Not so much, but I do keep a lot of information in my appointment book. It ends up looking like a little shorthand journal when you go back and read it. My wife's trying to get me going on the erasable multicolored pen system, but I've been a little resistant.
Oh, there you go. That is so funny. That is awesome. Christine, do you journal?
No. I kind of get annoyed at the journaling process.
No. Okay.
I have in the past.
She pulls out a card. You pull out a card. That's what
I pull out a card. I read Tarot. Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
that's right.
And I'll tell you that the card I kept thinking, give me another card. But the card that came out for today is the Sun. Which is the most positive card in the deck. So the sun's shining for us all. Let's all, shine the light on those things that seem dark to us. Yeah.
Nice. Well, last but not least, Dr. Amy, I know she's in the house. She's ghosting us today. I think she's folding her laundry. I don't know exactly what she's doing, but I see her do a lot of folding. Dr. Amy, do you journal?
I do journal, and I think one of the nice things that this conversation is pointing out is that the journaling can be any way that you want it. So I actually often, because I'm more a words person than an art person, I actually do writing, and I tend to actually do it on my computer. That doesn't mean there's not a place for colors and drawing or Post-it notes and blue pens. And so I just encourage everybody to play with this idea and find the way that works for them.
Nice.
Thank you, Dr. Amy, because you reminded me that I do write an article once a month for the Paradise Found newsletter on the new moon. And I'm a bit of an oversharer. So I do my process work through writing. So actually, if anybody wants to hear that stuff, just go check out my articles on Paradise Found, SB.com. They're all there.
Yeah. I outsource the writing because Dominique, when she does her journaling, she does it. And I throw in my 2 cents always. You know what I'm saying? I go, don't forget the oat milk. Okay. You know what I'm saying? What did we do today? And so we kind of do the share the journal. Don Sanders.
I forgot to mention, I help people process things through their mind, body, and spirit too. Don's Massage, Ojai.com, all over Santa Barbara, Ventura, and Ojai.
There you go. Well, hey, if you don't know, you are essentially using your hands now, Don, aren't you? There you go.
Yes, I am.
That's it. All day, baby. All right. Hey, we've got a lot of show left over. You got Alex Ramirez in the house. I don't know if Richard Ellsworth is going to be joining us, but we still got a little bit left. Philippi Coffee. We'll be back with more after these messages.
Brazil. Back in the USSR. Way down in LA.
and this is Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday,
9 a.m.
Hey, this is Alex with Fit for Life 805. So we've been talking about journaling and being the, I guess you can call it leading by example, where you're being the change that you want to see in other people. And that's a hard thing to do because we are never perfect. But I always tell people we're always awesome in our efforts to strive to be better. And we can never be perfect. I mean, gosh, it's an imperfect world. How can we be perfect? Society paints us to be perfect, but we're not. Trainers, I post on social media, and of course I post things that are relative to my job and what I do. And I try to instill that better living lifestyle, but it's what you see on my social media is maybe this perfect life, but it's not. I stress out. I have problems. I got stuff that brings me down, and I deal with depression and whatever it may be, but I always try to pull myself out of it. I always try to be the change that I want to see in other people. So that's my 2 cents for today. Always leading by example. Try to see the positive in every negative situation, and you just try to take care of yourself. And it's always about progress, not perfection, one day at a time. And don't judge yourself. That's the biggest thing. Never judge yourself so much.
Well, I love you so much, Alex. You're authentic and you're real. I mean, you don't sugarcoat anything. It is what it is. And you hold space for others that are going through what they're going through. And that's a lot for anybody to be able to do because you're a good listener. Dr. Amy.
Well, I was also just going to say thanks to Alex for keeping it real. And for those like Alex who are dealing with maybe some depression or some anxiety, there are 2 things that are proven to help that most people may not know about. Actually, 3. 1, Alex exemplifies completely. So exercising, moving your body, giving yourself a little dopamine. If you need a little bit more dopamine, I can treat about 80% of anxiety and depression with lifestyle recommendations, dietary recommendations, and then using some amino acids. So the idea is you put the amino acids in at the top, and then they give you enough neurotransmitters that you don't necessarily need Paxil or Zoloft or whatever to catch them and leave them in the synapse at the bottom. And then the last thing is that mindfulness is actually scientifically proven to decrease anxiety and depression greatly. So for folks who want help with that, you can reach out to me at stillquietplace.com.
Beautiful. Christine Marie, you also said you had some contact information as well. What would that be?
Yes, I have. It's Safe Alternatives for Treating Youth, actually called the Safety Line, and the Santa Barbara, the crisis number. So if you're in crisis, you would call 1-888-334-2777. And this is a program that wants to really to help families develop improved conflict resolution skills, communication skills, and developing plans for managing crisis and keeping people out, keeping teens and youth out of the hospitals or out of the jails. So it's really, if there is a crisis, and then if you just want to ask, call for general information, that's 805-445-7800. But if you're in crisis and you need help, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., it's 1-888-334-2777 is Safe Alternatives for Treating Youth. Safety Line.
Great. If you didn't catch those numbers, we're also on SoundCloud, Facebook, Teen Sports Radio. You can find us anywhere to grab that information. Again, just be patient. Well, Dominique and I hear stories every single week. There's not a week that goes by. We have Raya Carpenter here. There's definitely this plague has definitely slowed things down tremendously with our kids, and we have to be very patient and loving as we get over. We're not out of the woods yet. Okay, so let's just stay together. And when it comes to our kids, just be really, really patient. Some kids weren't affected at all by this. Okay, they just weren't. But others really got hit hard, and families also got hit super hard. A lot of families lost a lot of loved ones during this time frame. So let's just really, let's just cut a lot of people that we know that have suffered some slack. Dominique.
Well, I just want to reiterate that Teen Sports Radio is trying to encourage you, exercise, be a part of a team, get out there and connect with people, and then eating good food, getting good sleep, and going to healers like masseuses and so forth. That these are all wonderful ways to help heal our mind and body connection.
Yeah.
And I'd like to just emphasize again that really it is in the striving. It's not in being perfect. It's not in always having to be or look or be perfect, but in striving. And when I was in my training for kindergarten at Waldorf Education, they said it's the striving. That's what small children need to see. They need to see us failing, picking up, and keeping going, and putting, just continuing to strive in our lives. And I think it's so important. Thank you, Alex, for bringing that up.
Thank you, everybody. We love you. Let's keep smiling. Make somebody happy today. God bless. See you next week.
You're the best around. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever bring you down. You're the best around.